The giant short-faced bear versus saber-toothed tiger. Who would have won this fight? In the Earth's prehistoric past, the stage was set for a dramatic confrontation between two of the most awe-inspiring predators to have ever roamed the ancient landscapes. The colossal giant short-faced bear and a cunning Smilodon, also known as the saber-toothed cat. These formidable creatures, separated by millions of years in time and yet bound by their shared prowess as apex predators, captivate the imagination of paleontologists and enthusiasts alike. The giant Ice Age bear, commonly known as the bulldog bear, was the biggest land mammal carnivore that had ever existed in North America. Near the end of the Ice Age, they coexisted with mammoths, huge ground sloths, and other animals from 1.6 million to 11,000 years ago. Saber-toothed tigers are an extinct cat species distinguished by their large, curving canine teeth. They are also known as saber-toothed cats, saber-toothed tigers, or simply Smilodon. Size and description. Even the smaller species of short-faced bear were fairly huge and intimidating. When standing on all fours, they could reach heights of up to 6 feet, 1.82 meters, and when standing on their back two legs, they could reach heights of up to 11 feet, 3.3 meters. They could weigh 2,000 pounds, 907 kilograms or more. The males were probably larger than the females. They were named after their tiny face and snouts. They were tall and robust, but not as hefty as some other bears that have lived. They had limbs that were significantly longer and thinner than those of modern bears. This most likely helped them walk or run great distances, but it wasn't very useful for short periods of effort. Their strong jaws allowed them to chew on bones to get the tasty marrow inside. Smilodons had a very massive size, with the Smilodon populator being the heaviest of all the three species, weighing more than 800 pounds, 362 kilograms. Smilodon fatalis was almost the same size as a modern-day lion, but slightly heavier. The most distinguishing feature of Smilodons is a pair of massive upper canine teeth that were roughly 11 inches, 28 centimeters long. Coat characteristics, such as lion's manes and tiger stripes, are too rare to anticipate from fossil remains. Nonetheless, they could have had either plain-colored or spotted coats. The rest of the cat's body was formidable as well. They had long front limbs and a stout build to help take down their prey. Range and habitat. These bears were known as North American short-faced bears, but they roamed a wide range. The western areas of North America were mainly forested at the time. Their remains have been discovered all throughout the world, from Mexico to New Jersey. A. pristinus species are more common in the east of North America, particularly in Florida. A. simis is more common in western locations. The short-faced bear was also found in Yukon and modern-day Alaska. Smilodon species were found throughout North, Central, and South America. Researchers discovered that none of the three species were found to be higher than the temperate regions of North America. S. gratulus and S. fatalis were both found in North, Central, and South America. S. populator, the third and largest species, was found only in South America. These cats were widespread and utilized many different types of habitats for survival. Scientists believe that saber-toothed cats thrived in a variety of environments, including savannas, steppes, subtropical forests, woodlands, plains, and mountains. Food habits. The bear skull and shearing type of teeth indicate a highly carnivorous way of life. Its short, broad snout had a huge nasal passage which probably means it had a keen sense of smell and could inhale great volumes of oxygen while pursuing prey. The large width of the jaws in relation to their shortness, plus the huge insertions for biting muscles, gave this bear a vice-like killing bite. Researchers have found bite marks on ancient animals, including sloths and relatives of the elephant, that they attribute to the short-faced bear. Deer, tapir, horses, and even mammoths were likely included in the short-faced bear's diet. The fossil records of saber-toothed tigers' teeth show that they usually ate enormous creatures with thick skin and muscles, then left the bones for another scavenger. The saber-toothed tiger was an excellent hunter, taking down numerous animals on its own, including bison, camels, horses, woolly mammoths, mastodons, and enormous sloths. It's also possible that Smilodons acted as scavengers, snatching antelope, capybara, caribou, elk, oxen, peccaries, tapir, and other small to medium-sized animals from other predators who had already hunted and killed them. Behavior. Short-faced bears had few predators because they were so huge and frightening. Short-faced bears faced the prospect of changing food supplies due to climate change. They had less to eat as their prey became scarce. They were huge bears who needed to eat a lot to stay that way. The short-faced bear population declined due to a lack of food. At least some evidence suggests that early humans interacted with short-faced bears. A Clovis village in Texas reveals that the people who lived there butchered a short-faced bear for meat. Researchers believe that the introduction of people into the environment did not directly compromise the existence of the short-faced bear. They would have instead contended for resources. This had an influence on the overall environment, making it more difficult for these bears to find enough food. Humans were the only predators that hunted the saber-toothed tiger. Many biologists believe that humanity killed out the saber-toothed tiger. When the saber-toothed tigers died, there was a dramatic increase in human spread into the Americas. Temperature rise from climate changes at the end of the Ice Age may have also contributed to the extinction of the saber-toothed tiger. The social behavior of these cats is a highly debated conversation. There are a number of theories that suggest these cats lived in groups. Because researchers found them in great numbers in the La Brea tar pits, they posit that distress calls of potential prey attracted them to the area. Now, let's find out who would have won a fight between a giant short-faced bear and a Smilodon. It is likely that Smilodons and short-faced bears encountered each other occasionally in the Pleistocene, as they were both apex predators that lived in similar habitats across North America. However, it is difficult to know for certain how often they interacted, as there is very little direct evidence of such interactions in the fossil record. It is possible that competition between the two species may have played a role in the eventual extinction of the Smilodon around 10,000 years ago, but this is also speculative. Smilodon populator was the most powerful cat in history. His forearms are the result of hundreds of thousands of years of hunting megafaunas weighing up to 6 tons. Its limbs were built to overpower huge creatures like giant sloths and mastodons. Smilodon, as the name implies, possessed colossal teeth that may reach 10 inches, 25 centimeters in length. Canines in short-faced bears do not surpass 2.36 inches, 6 centimeters. Skulls discovered in Argentina show that the canines of the Smilodon populator were strong enough to pass through the skull of another Smilodon. As for the claws, the Smilodon populator even had proportionately the largest claws among all the cats. In addition to having colossal claws and extremely robust forearms, the saber teeth also had a 5th claw that would serve as a thumb, making him a lot better grappler than any other bear species. When the short-faced bear decided it needed some protein, its prey could have included species that most predators avoided. However, instead of going to all this trouble, the bears probably preferred to usurp the kills of smaller predators like wolves and jaguars. Surely the bear was enormous, but current encounters of Siberian tigers and Ussuri bears in nature show that modern Siberian tigers, maximal weight 225 kilograms, win over Ussuri bears, maximal weight 600 kilograms, in ratio 2-1. One might be surprised with the small size of Siberian tigers, but their size reduced strongly in the last century, and they are now smaller than Bengal tigers. Experienced tigers have a technique for these fights. They bite the bear's spine on the backside of the neck. As Smilodon's canines are 4 times longer, he can theoretically kill much heavier bears in the same way. As a result, it is believed that Smilodon could kill 2 to 4 times larger bears than modern cats, employing a strategy similar to tigers: high-precision bite and stab. Furthermore, if prehistoric bears' bigger size and strength were accompanied by reduced speed and agility, in a direct confrontation, the cat will give up to the bear. In a predation situation where the cat can ambush, the Smilodon will quickly kill the bear.